Should be back in a couple
Right now on Wake Up, torn and twisted. 2 tornadoes ripped through western New York, leaving behind damage and destruction.
This morning, business and homeowners have a long day of cleanup ahead of them. We are live with team coverage checking out the aftermath, what you need to know, and the help that the governor's office is promising.
Weather settles down across the area today. Would you believe, though, we may be tracking another severe weather threat over the weekend for portions of our area. I'll tell you about it coming up straight ahead of my Ford forecast. News 4 Wake Up continues right now.
Live in high definition. This is Western New York's news leader. Now, News 4's Wake Up.
That looks like a tornado.
It looked like one because it was. The photos and the videos still have us amazed this morning. 2 tornadoes touched down in western New York.
The National Weather Service confirmed an EF2 tornado hit Hamburg and an EF1 hit the town of Holland yesterday. Right now, officials in Holland are asking residents to conserve water for the time being because power is out at their pumping station. Even at one point, about 20,000 people in Erie County lost power.
News 4 was live on the air, wall to wall for hours. Mike Syka, one of the first meteorologists on the air, and you were on all afternoon.
Just about, yeah.
Is this unprecedented? I mean, we want your perspective.
It is an EF2, at least for the Niagara Frontier. It has happened more toward the southern tier because a lot of times the tornadoes that develop in that area, the severe weather kind of cranks up down toward Ashtabula County, Ohio, into Erie County, PA, and then travels in from that direction. But I have to admit, in the cases that we have had tornado development, at least around the Buffalo Metro, the Niagara Frontier, in most of these cases, the activity has come in from the northwest. So it's kind of snuck in without being affected by Lake Erie. And a lot of times the lake dissipates this activity. That was not the case yesterday. It came in from the northwest, started out on the peninsula, swept through the Buffalo Metro, and then really fired up into the south towns.
And now today, a lot of people are really trying to clean up. So we're going to show you some video of the hardest hit areas in Hamburg. That's around the Fairgrounds. And we know more than 200 vehicles parked there were damaged, but thankfully, no one was hurt.
This storm hit just weeks ahead of the Erie County Fair, so clearly cleanup crews have a big project on their hands. I want to bring in News 4's Angela Christoforis. She continues our team coverage live at the Fairgrounds. Good morning.
Well, Jordan, good morning. Mother Nature certainly took its toll here on the fairgrounds. And check out this tree branch. This is a common sight, really, throughout the fairgrounds. There are tree branches just like it scattered throughout the area. And this is just a snippet of what it looked like here yesterday. Crews have their work cut out for them as they work to clean up this mess with the Erie County Fair starting in less than 3 weeks. Now, hard to believe no one was hurt here yesterday. No serious injuries. The tornado ripped through this space, and at least 100 people had their car windows blown out as the air pressure changed. Park benches landed on top of buildings, trees all over the streets. Governor Cuomo was also in town yesterday to survey the damage with local emergency crews. Now, in the town of Hamburg, the tornado touched down in 4 different spots, mostly in rural sections. County cleanup is underway, and especially here at the fairgrounds, they have a big task ahead of them because in less than 20 days, the fair begins.
We're very lucky. This passed in a location which we know in 3 weeks we'll have thousands of individuals here for the Erie County Fair.
Mother Nature likes to test us, I think. 7 feet of snow was a test. Flash flooding the other week was a test. The tornado is a high-level test.
I'm told that crews are just starting to arrive on site here to resume cleanup. Now, at this point, there's no estimation as to how much damage the tornado caused. Insurance adjusters will be on site today. We'll keep you posted on what they say as far as the total amount of damage. But for now, reporting live in Hamburg, Angela Christoforos, News 4 Wake Up.
Thank you, Angela. So that's a look at what's taking place near the fairgrounds. Neighbors in Hamburg, they're waking up to their trees down in their yards, damage to their homes and cars. It really is a mess.
Yeah, we have Allie Ingersoll not too far away. She is on Clark Street checking on folks there. Good morning.
Good morning, Jordan and Brittany. Yeah, the damage here is still significant. We are in Hamburg right now. You can see you were talking about trees in yards, shingles in yards, still down power lines over this way, windows blown out, the curtains just hanging out of there. The trees in the backyard here, I don't know if you can see this big tree. It looks like it just snapped in half as that storm swept through here yesterday afternoon. Now, this isn't the only neighborhood that's impacted. Many neighborhoods in this area beginning to clean up today. People in the area saying that the storm lasted around 4 to 5 minutes total, telling us the temperature changed quickly and then the sky turned black and the winds picked up. Many describing a funnel cloud coming through, reporting seeing objects like trash cans and basketball nets being picked up and thrown around outside. The objects still remaining all around neighborhoods in the region this morning. Now, several homeowners had windows and doors pulled out of their homes, shards of glass still littering the ground today. People saying that this is something they've never really seen before.
I heard a big roar and everything, and I looked out my living room window, and my garbage tote was here, and it flew about 20 feet high, and it ended up in the neighbor's yard back over here. And then I seen the black swirl, came right through here, ripping up the trees, and then it went there and it hit that house.
And I went in, got gas, went in, came back out, and just super black, dark clouds and just spinning over.
Now, once again, cleanup is continuing today as people are going to begin assessing all the damage now, since they really had time to document this already. Insurance companies telling people to thoroughly document it. Really don't touch anything yet, though, until someone can come out. I do want to draw your attention once again to this down power line. It's important that you shouldn't go near any down power lines. NYSEG is reporting that there are still around 1,600 people in Erie County without power today. So this is a site you still might be seeing as crews are starting to arrive. There's actually one right over there, and they're arriving on scene, beginning to look at this so that they can restore power to everyone. But just remember to avoid down power lines. We're going to continue assessing the damage here, looking at the cleanup efforts today. For now, though, live from Hamburg, Allie Ingersoll, News 4 Wake Up.
Thank you, Allie. Governor Andrew Cuomo has offered state help to families who are dealing with damage. The governor was in Hamburg last night to see it firsthand. He says Western New Yorkers are resilient and they'll bounce back. Still, he says the state is sending 200 generators and 100 National Guardsmen to the area to help with the cleanup.
Mother Nature likes to test us, I think. 7 feet of snow was a test. Flash flooding the other week was a test. The tornado is a high-level test. I think maybe we've graduated to the next level of testing by Mother Nature. But Buffalo and Erie County are ready for it, and they can handle it.
Right now, the state of emergency is still in effect in Hamburg. We know at one point several roads in the area were closed. This morning, we will continue to check to see if they are reopening.
I have my two big, beautiful maples are now totally twisted and laying in my yard. They also landed on top of my RV, and my RV is destroyed. And a branch had gone through my living room window and ripped right through the ceiling. Even at my age, I'll rebuild it, bring it back.
People in Orchard Park also have a lot of damage to deal with. A lot of roof damage, as you heard from that man. You see all the trees that came down in this neighborhood. The guy we just heard from told us about maple trees he's had in his yard for years that ended up twisted and torn on the ground in seconds. Clearly not a good day to jump in that pool. Despite the destruction, we've seen neighbors doing like we do here in Western New York, stepping up and helping one another bounce back and clean up. And obviously the cleanup is the big story today. Mike Syka's back with us this morning. He's going to update us on what we're getting this morning. Obviously a day where we're going to get to dry out. He is in our Forewarned Weather Center to update us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. You know, the interesting thing about this whole scenario is it just flared up so quickly yesterday afternoon. And I just want to reiterate, too, what Allie indicated to avoid the power lines. If you see wires on the ground, assume they are power lines and that they are live. And I'm quite sure there are still some left out there. These are some of the graphics Todd put together for us last night of the first tornado, at least. And this may be actually one of the same. Not only this one, but the one that impacted the Holland area. And we discussed this on the air while we were covering the situation yesterday afternoon, that sometimes tornadoes don't always remain on the ground, but they lift up at times and then they drop back down. That may have transpired across southern Erie County yesterday afternoon, but the path on this one about 700 yards, the width, I should say, 700 yards, the path of the tornado about 5 miles. And then as we get down to southern Erie County here in Holland, this was the second signature, at least, of this either same tornado or maybe a second one, and the length on this about 2.5 miles, impacting this area and cutting right across Route 16 down that direction. Now, there are some indications that there are a lot of damage, at least down across the eastern side of Allegheny County as well, especially around the Angelica area. And I understand that maybe the folks from the Weather Service are going to be heading down that direction today to assess that as well. And it's possible there may have been another touchdown in that area. We were seeing weakening of this rotation signature that was in the thunderstorm that was responsible for these tornadoes yesterday afternoon, around that time when it finally started to shift down into Allegheny County, but it still may have been intact enough, at least at that point, to possibly produce another touchdown in that area. Well, would you believe as we get into the weekend, we're going to be looking at another severe weather risk, particularly along the Pennsylvania line down this direction, southern Chautauqua County, extreme southern Cat County, a slight risk of severe storms, and a lesser marginal risk extending as far north as extreme southern sections of Erie County as well, northern Cattaraugus and northern Allegheny included in that. Well, as for today, we have a much more tranquil day ahead of us, at least, thank goodness. We need it after yesterday. Some fog out there this morning in spots. Visibility dropping off to 1.5 miles at Niagara Falls, lighter fog at Buffalo at 5 miles, and also some foggy conditions down here across northern PA. The Bradford Airport reporting about 1/4 mile. So watch out for some of these pockets of fog out there, especially in the countryside. They may slow you down a little bit early today. It's off to a warm start already. 70 degrees at Niagara Falls, close to it at Buffalo. We have some 60s going on, lower to mid 60s down here toward the Pennsylvania line. Wellsville at 68, and the dew point temperatures are up there. I mean, it's very humid. At times it's been oppressive already this morning, and it's going to be that way even into the afternoon hours. Feeling like summer out there for this Friday. Here's your forecast for today. Patchy low clouds and fog early, then increasing amounts of sunshine getting into the afternoon hours. At noon, 80 degrees, 84 here at 3, and also at 5 p.m. No weather issues as you head home from work late today. So your headlines on this Friday morning: tranquil weather returning to the area today. Looks like rain is going to be back in here for Saturday, and at least for parts of Sunday, but that Sunday forecast may be looking a little bit better today than it did yesterday, and I'll get into that here in a couple minutes.
Mike, thank you. If you had the Forewarned Weather app, you knew about the tornado warning just seconds after it was issued yesterday. Remember, this is a good app to have on your phone as we head through this rainy summer that we've seen. You've got your neighborhood radar that allows you to track any of the storms as they develop. Your time right now, 6:11.
We've got a lot more ahead as Wake Up continues, including a bomb in the basement. The historic discovery one Buffalo family found in their home. Why officials say they are lucky to be alive.
Decision Day. The man who admitted to setting fire to a volunteer fireman's apartment will learn his punishment. Hear how much time he's facing behind bars.
But first,
we want to let you know the Morning Rush comes your way 6:45. It is nonstop, commercial-free news, traffic, and weather together, including this morning new drone video we're getting of the storm damage in Allegheny County.
Then finally free after serving 9 years in prison. O.J. Simpson was granted parole. Find out when he'll be released and what happens next for the former Buffalo Bill.